I'm sorry.
How was the lie?
I'm sorry, what did you say?
How was the lie?
No, what did you say before that?
What?
What did you say before that?
I'm gonna take my walk?
Before that.
You wanna do it?
Right.
What?
What did you expect me to say? I said no, but what did you expect me to say?
I never know. What difference does it make?
Well, it makes a lot of difference.
You're making a video. I gotta take my walk.
Okay, good.
He's a bit slow today, so he's in my room right now.
I'm slow today, too. I think it's in the weather.
No, that's perfect for you, too.
I'm slow, you're slow, we're all slow.
What?
I guess you're slow, too, because you're not going for your walk.
I've been waiting for you to finish.
For what?
Because I don't want to necessarily leave him alone. He's just kind of slow.
I gotta go clean the showers. Just put him out in the living room, because I'm in and out.
I'll put him out there when I go on my walk.
Yeah. Anyway. Exciting times over here, just off the live and catching up with emails and TikToks, and anyway, that's what I get. You want to do it? Marriage 101.
Before we get into this, like, subscribe, hit that bell, because the truth you're about to hear won't make it to the evening news. Welcome to the age of The Bachelor. A new era of men who have stepped off the hamster wheel. No rings, no obligations, no walking on eggshells to keep somebody happy. A century ago, marriage made logical sense. A man needed a partner to survive. Someone to share labour, cook, raise children, and keep the house together while he fought off famine, weather, or the occasional world war. Divorce was rare because life was already hard enough. Both sides had skin in the game. Both had to pull their weight. Loyalty was currency. Now, comfort made discipline optional. One click on a phone can detonate a household. No-fault divorce laws flipped marriage from partnership to contract trap. 70% of all divorces are filed by women. Half of marriages collapse. Men lose homes, kids, pensions, and half their sanity. When they finally crawl out, they pay the rest of their lives for freedom they used to own. The new generation learned by watching that carnage. They saw their fathers crushed under happy wife, happy life, and they quietly said never again. They became the bachelors, men who control their time, their money, their bodies, their peace. No one asks them to explain why they are training at midnight or flying off to Bali on 2 hours' notice. They eat what they want, rest when they need, grind without distraction, and answer to no one. That wasn't selfishness, the foundation of masculine spirit. Charlie Sheen was the first public symbol of that philosophy in the modern age. The media mocked him because they couldn't control him. Drugs, scandals, porn stars. Sure, chaos. But behind it lay the stubborn refusal to apologise for living by his own rules. He lost a contract worth hundreds of millions, laughed and said winning, and made new money anyway. The man burned down Hollywood etiquette, walked through the smoke, and still came out richer in soul. He didn't bend. That's why they hated him. The Bachelor doesn't explain himself to the crowd, because the crowd secretly wishes it had the courage to do the same. George Clooney followed a quieter path. For decades, he was the world's most eligible single man. Intelligent, political, unchained. Every magazine begged to know when he'd settle down. He didn't. He dated models from every continent, worked on his craft, directed films, built wealth, and waited. When he finally married, in his 50s, he did it from a position of power. Prenup ironclad, fortune secure, freedom intact. He'd lived enough to choose intentionally, not desperately. The wisdom there is obvious. Never commit while you are still climbing. The bachelor invests first in himself until marriage becomes an option, not an escape. Then there's Keanu Reeves, the monk in a leather jacket. A man shaped by grief, who lost the woman and child he planned to build a life with. And instead of collapsing, he built discipline. He works, he rides, he donates quietly. He treats fame with indifference, and women with calm distance. The internet calls him wholesome, but what he really is free. He's proof that peace isn't found in constant company. It's found in mastering silence. And then came Johnny Depp, the courtroom saga that ripped open the real cost of ignoring red flags. The whole world watched. A man who'd given everything, money, career, and devotion, only to be publicly accused, humiliated, and nearly erased. Years of false headlines, cancelled contracts, studio blacklisting, because one relationship turned toxic. But he stood his ground. Evidence came out. Lies crumbled. And suddenly, the narrative flipped. The jury believed him because truth carries the calm of a man who's already lost everything except his dignity. He didn't win a woman back. He won himself back. His trial wasn't just against Amber Heard. It was against the system that assumes men can't be victims. When he walked out of that courthouse, smiling like a ghost resurrected, every bachelor on earth silently nodded. Freedom costs less than false love. That's the pattern the modern bachelor sees. Every marriage looks like a warning sign. Every divorce like a cautionary tale written in blood. So he opts out, not from fear, but from clarity. He understands that a man's mission dies when he's constantly begging for domestic peace. Spiritual freedom demands solitude, focus, sometimes loneliness. But from that loneliness comes strength. When you spend enough time alone, you stop asking others to complete you. You stop chasing validation and start shaping your world. You build a body that obeys you, a mind that respects you, a bank account that feeds you, and a soul that answers only to God. That's the real core of the bachelor life. Peace, time to build, time to read, to train, to travel without permission, to grow without distraction. A married man's schedule belongs to the collective. A bachelor's time belongs to his mission. He eats simply but with satisfaction. He keeps his space clean. He controls his dopamine. No endless swiping, no doom scrolling, no begging for attention. When he wants company, he finds it on his own terms. When he wants silence, it's instant. His home is his temple. His phone, his gatekeeper. His focus, sacred. Society keeps lying to him. You'll regret being alone. Really? The bachelor at 40, fit, paid, and travelling, compared to the married peer drowning in debt? Sleeping on the couch after another argument about his feelings? Regret is a luxury of comfort. Freedom is a necessity of purpose. The spiritual transformation here isn't anti-woman. It's pro-truth. Women chase security. Men chase purpose. The system made their goals conflict. So bachelors choose purpose and let women choose security without resenting them. That balance, ironically, attracts better women. The rare ones drawn to strength, not servitude. But even then, the bachelor understands connection must not become captivity. Look at these men again. Sheen shows rebellion. Clooney delayed mastery. Reeves, quiet discipline. Depp, resilience. Four faces of the same coin. Self-ownership. They all paid in loneliness at times, but they earned something rarer. Peace under their own roof. So when you hear the word bachelor, don't picture a reckless playboy. Picture a man at dawn, training hard, building his craft, answering to his own consciousness. Picture Johnny Depp tuning a guitar in a Spanish villa. Charlie Sheen laughing in his backyard with a cigar. Keanu meditating before writing. Clooney editing another film in silence. That's the masculine soul, unshackled. The age of the bachelor isn't rebellion. It's evolution. Men finally remembering who they are when no one else defines them. A bachelor can marry one day, if he chooses, but he'll never again kneel from weakness. He'll kneel only to tie his boots before the next journey. So stay free, brothers. Train the body, guard the mind, seek peace above approval. Because freedom is the last true luxury left in this world. And no court, contract, or promise ring is worth losing it. Like the video, share it with a man who's learning this lesson the hard way. And keep building yourself. The age of the bachelor isn't coming. It's already here. Quick heads up before we keep going. I've got a Facebook page where I post a lot more of this stuff. It's not a business page, it's not monetized, and it's not a brand. It's a non-profit page. I run it purely because I think these conversations actually matter. No sponsors, no ads, no fake positivity, just raw clips, thoughts, arguments, humour, and uncomfortable topics people avoid. I'm not trying to sell you anything. I'm not pushing an agenda. It's just a place for people who still like thinking, questioning, disagreeing, and laughing without everything being cleaned up for algorithms. If you agree with me, disagree with me, or just want somewhere that isn't filtered to death, the link's there. You'll usually see stuff there before it ever hits YouTube. Alright, back to the video. Prince of Persia, Sands of Time remake has been cancelled. To the Prince of Persia community, we want to share this with you directly. We've made the difficult decision to stop development of Prince of Persia, The Sands of Time remake. We know this is deeply disappointing. The game carries enormous meaning for fans and for the teams who worked on it. While the project had real potential, we weren't able to reach the level of quality you deserve. And continuing would have required more time and investment than we could reasonably commit. And we didn't want to release something that fell short of what the Sands of Time represents. Prince of Persia, as a universe and a legacy, continues to matter deeply to us. And this decision does not mean we are stepping away from the franchise. Thank you for your passion, patience, and love for the Prince of Persia, the Prince of Persia team. This is an official announcement from Ubisoft's Prince of Persia development team, stating the development of the Prince of Persia, The Sands of Time remake, has been cancelled and stopped. It was posted by the developer's publisher as a message to the Prince of Persia community, widely shared on social media and gaming news sites. I actually made my last video before this news dropped, so I was a bit late to the update. Several other Ubisoft titles have been delayed. Among those, the project widely believed to be an Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag remake is reported to be delayed. Though that delay hasn't been detailed in Ubisoft's official public statements, it's based on industry reports and speculation tied to the leaked, delayed gaming listing. In other news, you can see why so many people just walk away from politics, go off grid, and start focusing on themselves. I've got some big videos coming up, so make sure you are subscribed. While this world continues to reward obedience and cowardice, and we drift closer to another global conflict, we've only got ourselves to blame. We allowed weakness to pass as virtue. We stayed silent while comfort replaced courage. The closer we move to uncertainty, the more brutally honest we must become. I've seen what it means to be excluded from comfort zones, to be slowly erased while everyone pretends you were never there. When you become background noise, you either disappear or you learn to speak into the void. And I chose to speak. To remind those who built these spaces that they are not as untouchable as they believe. Their egos will not protect them. History has never been kind to those who mistake comfort for permanence. I understand now why this system is failing. Not because humans changed, but because they never did. Every civilization that collapsed believed it was immune to the patterns before it. And when collapse comes, it is never gentle. A stronger force always emerges, and the cycle begins again. Now back to the video. You ever notice how everyone who screams the loudest about saving tradition seems to have the least experience in actually living it? Like the world's on fire, politically, morally, culturally. And the people acting as firefighters are standing there holding matches. That's modern conservatism for you. They are the moral hall monitors, trying to police the party while secretly sneaking shots in the bathroom. The right keeps telling us that the West is collapsing, that families are dead, that men have lost their purpose. And they might be right about some of that, but not for the reasons they think. The West didn't fall because of feminism or Netflix. The West fell because all the people preaching about duty and virtue couldn't practice what they posted. They turned morality into marketing, virtue into a Patreon tier. Nick Fuentes, the internet's self-proclaimed moral saviour, Christian nationalist, and champion of traditional family values. Except for one tiny detail. He doesn't have a family. He doesn't have a girlfriend. He barely has sunlight. This is a man lecturing millions about marriage while admitting he's never kissed a girl. Imagine Gandhi preaching moderation while doing tequila shots alone in a basement. That's the energy. And it would almost be harmless. Just another chronically online guy playing prophet. If it stopped there. But then comes the endless melodrama. The whispers, the DMs, the rumours of a gay sex tape, allegedly hanging over his head like a divine joke. And who's the supposed blackmailer? Milo Yiannopoulos. You cannot write comedy this perfect. The same Milo who once boasted about his sex life, then repented, found God, declared being gay isn't real, and now manages Nick Fuentes' image. Picture that dynamic. You've got an ex-gay man threatening to out another man who insists he's never dated. Both of them claiming to stand for Christian family values. That's not politics. That's Real Housewives of the alt-right. It's like if two priests got into a slap fight in the confessional booth while live streaming it for clout. Every time they fight, you can practically hear Huxley whispering from beyond the grave. Told you they'd end up like this. Fuentes calls modern culture degenerate. But every hour of his content screams repression, begging for release. He rants about women being the root of decline, then spends every day surrounded exclusively by men who spend their evenings worshipping anime. That's not tradition. That's celibacy wrapped in denial. He claims the left destroyed romance, when really, no one ever swiped right on his worldview. And Milo, the chaos artist priest in cosplay, 1 decade ago he was bragging about his escapades, doing book tours, celebrating sin. Now he's trying to scrub the record clean by calling his former self a phase. He's the only man alive to go from God hates gays to but maybe he'll make an exception for Patreon supporters. He keeps reinventing himself the same way failed pop stars do. New outfit, new ideology, same desperate need for attention. The only tradition left there is opportunism. What's so fascinating is how the entire traditionalist movement has become therapy for emotionally broke men who hate the modern world but can't stop living in it. They stream, tweet, grift, gossip, all while whining that society has lost meaning. Of course it has. You can't preach values while treating them like brand assets. These guys aren't restoring faith. They are testing its market share. They look at liberals embracing chaos and say that's disgusting. Then after midnight, they are scrolling the same content they condemned 5 minutes ago. They talk about degeneracy while planning meetups that feel like high school sleepovers with fascist fan fiction. They don't want to rebuild the church. They want to LARP as crusaders between Uber Eats deliveries. Meanwhile, the left, for all of its faults, at least owns its mess. They admit the hedonism, the hookups, the self-indulgence. They call it finding yourself. And yeah, maybe it's shallow, but it's honest. The right hides the same behaviour behind rosaries and rhetoric. They consume what they condemn and call it discipline. It's not rebellion they hate, it's competition. That's why the whole moral panic talking points ring hollow. We need to defend marriage, they say, while the loudest defenders can't stay married long enough to finish a campaign. We must restore faith, says the guy live tweeting from his hotel room. We must protect purity, shouts the movement whose icons are being blackmailed by their former lovers. It's all theatre, a morality play performed by the unrepentant. It's not even new. Every empire's decline was blamed on the same story. The youth are godless, the women are wild, and the men have forgotten their duty. But every time, those same men turned out to be the biggest partiers in the city. Ancient Rome had senators preaching virtue while hosting orgies. Victorian England had preachers condemning sin while sneaking off to brothels. Now we've got podcasters doing live stream sermons between DMs. Same play, new stage lighting. The scariest part? They've convinced a generation of lonely, angry young men that salvation lies not in self-improvement, not in community, but in joining an online movement that hates everyone more than it helps anyone. It's the illusion of moral high ground, with none of the legwork. The slogans stay. The spirit's gone. The same people who said faith without works is dead now say content without clicks is pointless. Nick represents the ultimate irony of his side. A trad man with no tradition, a purity activist who keeps getting caught in unholy confusion. And Milo is just the ghost of what happens when hypocrisy gets tired and burns out. Together, they are the yin and yang of modern right-wing chaos. Repression meets reinvention. Moral panic meets midlife crisis. So whose fault is it, really? The left for celebrating freedom? Or the right for pretending they don't secretly want to? It's both. They are mirror images screaming at their reflections. The left calls it liberation. The right calls it damnation. Both swipe on the same apps after midnight when no one's watching. Tradition didn't collapse because young people stopped believing in God. It collapsed because older generations stopped living like they did. The right commodified religion the same way the left commodified rebellion. The cross and the rainbow flag became merch. And now we all live in the aftermath, where belief is branding and sin is marketing strategy. Fuentes and Milo aren't anomalies. They are symptoms. They are what happens when performance replaces principle. Every scandal is a sequel. Every apology, a reboot. They'll both preach the fall of the West, terrified of realizing they are staring into it. And that's the punchline. Tradition wasn't murdered by modernity. It died of hypocrisy. It drowned in the champagne glass of the same men who swore they were saving it. So yeah, tradition didn't just fade away. It got caught in 4K lying about celibacy. The people preaching morals turned out to be the main characters in the scandal section. And the rest of us, we are stuck watching the live stream of civilization's midlife crisis. If you made it this far, you are officially more patient than half of Twitter. So do the modern thing. Like the video, subscribe, drop a comment about which traditionalist you think will implode next. And share this with a friend who still thinks values can be brought in bulk. Welcome to the brave new world. Same hypocrisy, just better microphones.